Yo, 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 what is going on, everybody? Hold on, let me make sure y'all can hear me okay. I think we're good on that one. Yeah, I think we're good. My apologies for being late, y'all. Look, I'm a dad now. Look, that's that's all I can say, guys. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm a dad. My boy started going crazy. Like the moment I walked out the room, we don't know what's going on. I had not expected that to happen. I left the room and all hell broke loose. I am not exaggerating, y'all. That was wild. I wish I had an explanation. I really do. But, I guess at some point in the last 3 months, my son realized he loved daddy. And like we were spending some quality time laughing and giggling. And the moment I walked out, this man starts going bonkers. Like, just, no. So I had to go and hold him and walk around for him, or with him in his little baby carrier thing outside for a little bit until he calmed down. So, but we're here now. We're here. How's everybody doing, man? I miss you guys. We should be live right now on Rockfin, Twitter, Rumble. Rockfin, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube. Yeah, Rockfin, Twitter, Rumble, YouTube. Yep. Yep. Rockfin, Twitter, Rumble, and YouTube. We have a good show for you guys today. First, I would like to say for everyone who helped donate to Diane's GoFundMe, bro, y'all actually helped us reach our goal. And I didn't get to talk about it yet because I was in the States. That's why I wasn't able to stream. So I missed I missed Mimosa Monday because I was traveling on both of the Mondays. So we did hit the goal. We're gonna do a little bit more. That's our goal is to hit 3,000 now. The link is still in the description if you're on YouTube or Rockfin. I'm actually gonna go to her house pretty soon, or her apartment pretty soon, because she wants to do a video thanking everybody, who helped donate to her fundraiser. Dog, I cannot tell y'all how much that fundraiser has helped her. Like literally, this past weekend, her youngest got really, really sick, and under the normal circumstances, unfortunately, she would not have been able to afford the medicine. Not because medicine here is super expensive, but because this isn't something you go through a doctor to get. Also, when your daughter's sick, you don't want to really wait to have a doctor's appointment. So like she was able to get her medicine. She was able to actually stay. She makes money like selling bags of nuts on the street. Obviously it's not a lot. And she has to take her baby with her because she doesn't have anybody to babysit. So she was actually able to stay home with her, get the medicine she needed. Her baby's doing a lot better now. Like stuff like that. Like I said, when you're trying to adjust to literally having a new life, big deal when you can actually, she would just hit us up. It was like, hey, this was going on. Hey, we already got everything for you. Here you go. So it was really, really amazing and really dope. And she's been really appreciative. And she's been sending, messages every day saying thank you. So you guys are dope. Like I said, y'all never let me down. Really. I can't thank y'all enough. I really, really cannot thank y'all enough. And Diane feels the same way. Other than that, man, it's been a crazy couple of weeks given with Israel's recent attack in Camp Nusret. Don't quote me on that. I think that's how it's pronounced. But basically, the recent attack killed right now. Hamas estimating 240 at least. So that's crazy. This situation with Bree is even crazier. We're actually going to start off with that. And the situation with Bree is actually even crazier considering what just happened with this operation, this rescue operation that led to more hostages being killed, more Israeli hostages being killed, and leading to, once again, an IDF soldier being killed. So let's go ahead do some shout outs real quick before we get this show on the road. Let me see who we got in this thing. Sophia44, thank you very much for joining the show. Appreciate your patience. Bryce Smith, what's going on? Robbie Burns, what's going on? Austin, what's going on? Also said, much love to you, man. I don't think I've caught one of your live streams since the MCSC days. Yeah, probably because I usually go a little bit earlier now. But the baby was not having it today, so he caught me at the right time. Ashura, do you think the Hamas resistance are? Excuse me. Do you think Hamas are resistance fighters, and that most of the hijackers of 9/11 were Saudis? I mean, I think everybody knows that most of the hijackers from 9/11 were Saudi or Saudi adjacent, effectively doing the bidding of Saudi Arabia, which effectively would have been doing the bidding of the United States. DC, what's going on? Where you like this video, like, and of course, don't forget to share. But that like helps out tremendously. Hell, I forgot to share. What am I doing? Man, I'm really surprised that Bree was fired. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. I'm surprised that Bree was fired, not because of like the whole Israel thing, like duh. But that's something like I kind of expected to happen sooner, I guess. Like if it was gonna be over Israel, it at least should have been like months ago, if that's what y'all plan was. But the way that she was fired, who she was like, the reason she was fired, in the context in which she was fired, all that stuff is crazy to me. It was mind-boggling because, well, let's go ahead and get into it. So first of all, everybody here at this point knows that a couple of days ago, at the end of last week, Briahna Joy Gray announced that she was fired from The Hill Rising. So let me just say, to start out, yeah, basically had to do with Israel, but also this is so you fired Bree. Kim wasn't necessarily fired. They violated her contract effectively, if I'm remembering correctly. They violated her contract, and it was effectively like they told her they wouldn't stop her from interviewing people, and like she had a contract, and when they violated it, it basically was breach of contract. So when Kim left, it wasn't on the best of terms, and it was kind of like a firing, but not really a firing. So it was somewhat voluntary, but not really, because it was like they violated a rule knowing that it would lead to Kim leaving. Because Kim left because Fauci came on the show, and it was specifically because of how viral the videos of Kim calling out Dr. Fauci had gone. So they basically gave Dr. Fauci a tongue bath and didn't let Kim address him at all. Like they kept her off the show that day. So and this was, all due respect to Brie, of course, Kim was that was probably the heyday of The Hill. Kim was coming out with banger after banger after banger and exposing Dr. Fauci. And not only Dr. Fauci, but everybody who was agreeing with him, all the doctors who were speaking up and defending his BS, like they were killing it. And they were in the which was even crazy because they were actually in the transition of ownership. People don't know that, but they were actually in the transition of ownership. And Kim was kind of keeping them afloat because we know it wasn't Ryan Grimm that was doing it. So Kim was kind of keeping them afloat during that process. So then they bring in Briahna Joy Gray, and she's keeping them afloat in the most polite way possible. Like me and Bree, we're gonna talk about the details of it, but I want to talk about this part because I feel like it's super important. Me and Bree had this conversation actually on my show before, but also one-on-one about how hard it is to be a Black woman in this particular space. And I've talked about that tons of times on my show, which is probably why there aren't that many that aren't pigeonholed and only talk about Black issues, right? There aren't that many. The reason why is because anytime a Black woman shows any level of passion to the degree that Jimmy Dore would, or like the guys from Do Dissidents who do good work, maybe Pasta or Sam Cedar, well, never Sam Cedar, but any people, any white guys or anything like that. Hell, sometimes even us, like even Black men, if they show any level of passion like that, they're immediately chastised and demonized and stereotyped as the angry Black woman. Hell, Sam Cedar tried to do that while he was debating Briahna Joy Gray specifically. And so, although we might have political disagreements at times, or I might have a disagreement in Briahna Joy Gray's approach at times, which that's not really news to anybody. I still consider her a friend, and I also understand why she has to have the approach she made, because as you'll see here, the reason that they supposedly fired her wasn't because of the Israel criticisms. Of course, that wasn't it. It was because of her rolling her eyes, which she barely did, and also which she was justified in doing. She was justified in doing so. So, like, you can't roll your eyes, but Robbie can literally cuss Briahna out in the middle of taping and nothing happens. There's no repercussions, right? So I'm gonna show y'all, in case y'all haven't seen that video yet. Let me pull it up for y'all. We're not gonna watch the whole video because it's like 20 minutes long. What we are gonna do is check out this supposed claim that Bree rolled her eyes and it was just the biggest deal in the world, super disrespectful, because it's just not, that's not how I feel about it. But I'm gonna let y'all be the judge. All right. And I hope y'all had a good weekend, by the way. I'm sorry I didn't get to do Mimosa Mondays. I didn't get to drink for the homies today. I mean, drink orange juice for the homies, because I would never drink alcohol on camera. If YouTube is listening. Never do such a thing. All right. Let me go ahead and fast forward to that part. We're going to watch like the last couple minutes, matter of fact.
The agreement and to decide whatever they want. I don't know, but what I'm getting is from the media, and I'm sure that Tari said just to for
medicine and get the care that his administration self.
Why aren't they getting what they deserve?
The Times just reported this morning that Biden said, quote, "There's every reason for people to draw the conclusion that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is prolonging the war for his own political self-preservation." This is after Biden's speech at the end of last week was met with statements from Israeli government officials saying that there wasn't an agreement about this hostage deal on the part of Israel, and that there was a gap between what Biden represented and what they would agree to. And after months of Netanyahu and members of his administration saying that the goal was to eliminate Hamas and that he would not agree to a ceasefire and hostage exchange deal until that happened. Now, this seems to be Joe Biden saying again that what is obstructing the ceasefire process that could allow your sister to come home and get the food and get the medicine and get the care that she needs and to live in safety is being obstructed by Benjamin Netanyahu. Do you feel like he's putting his own personal political goals ahead of prioritizing hostage release?
I really see that you want to talk political.
Think about that. Okay, y'all heard what she did. So it's important to remember at the beginning of this, and the reason why Bree brought this up is that I think her name is Yamin or something like that, but it's a sister of a hostage, basically. And she put forth this idea, this claim that Israel is 100% for certain putting together a hostage deal or a ceasefire deal that will be so superior to previous hostage deals and ceasefire deals that Hamas, if they cared about the safety of the Palestinian people and the civilians that are being killed, Hamas has no choice but to take it. Bree challenges her on this. And once again, the most polite way possible, like, yo, man, like, I feel you on your sister. Like, I hope you get her back. But everybody and everyone that has any type of power or has anything to do with the situation is telling you Netanyahu is lying. But you somehow have this information that supposedly he isn't. And you're putting it on the onus on Hamas to accept the ceasefire deal that you don't even know exists, really. But you're claiming to know it exists. And then the moment that you're challenged on this, like, well, nothing supports your claim. You're just coming on here and pushing this narrative and nothing, because this is before the operation. Everybody has to remember that. This is before the operation, which makes it important. So she's pushing this claim. Nothing. There's no evidence to support this. And she gaslights Bree. There's no other way to put it. She gaslights her. It was like, you're trying to talk politics. No, I'm not. I'm trying to talk about what the hell you just brought up. You just said there was a deal on the table. Everybody else is saying, no, there isn't. But you're claiming that there is. So you need to prove to me, because we're on at this point, I mean, they're on a mainstream television show and YouTube show. So if you're going to make that claim, at least be willing to provide some type of evidence, some type of support or collaborative information. But if you're going to make such an egregious claim, like, oh, and put the onus on Hamas to accept this imaginary ceasefire deal that we know now was never really in play.
Things, and this is not my profession. I'm saying right now that we have
it's not her profession, but she sure is on a political talk show trying to push this idea of a ceasefire. Okay, whatever.
Israeli deal on the table, and we're waiting for Hamas to say yes.
Unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be the case. I wish that it were, but unfortunately, that does not seem to be the case. Would you like to say anything else that we should know about your...
That even Biden said himself, this is what the Egyptian government said, this is what the Qatari said just today, and this is what my government said. Hamas also said that they're waiting, that they need to read.
How's that? Hold on, that was real quick. She just switched up.
Decided.
She just switched up. Then she said that she said, I'm not a... Whenever Bree asked her, how do you have any level of certainty that deal is actually real? And what Bree did was quote the New York Times and Biden's speech. And what she's doing, what she said at first was, I don't know. I'm not a political expert. This is not my profession. And when Bree said, well, I mean, whatever you're saying, it might be nice to say, but that doesn't seem to be the case. All of a sudden, that's what Biden said. No, Bree just told you. That's not what Biden said. That the New York Times even said that's not what Biden said. But she's coming out, the Biden said, the Egyptian government said, but you just said you're not an expert. So you have done some research on this. So if you knew that, why didn't you rebut with that? Because she's bullshit. Her job was to come out here and be a propaganda piece. And I'm 100% positive that this was just a setup, but we'll continue.
Whatever they want. I don't know, but what I'm getting is from the media, and I'm sure that you're getting it from the media itself yourself, because you're not in the negotiation team. So I'm here to talk about my sister. Please help me spread her story. Help me make people understand what she's going through.
So I want you all also to remember. So she gave a story, a detailed story about what supposedly happened to her sister. We know that her sister was taken hostage, but she spent the majority of this interview telling Bree, I can't tell you the details of the hostage negotiation because I wasn't in the room. I wasn't there. I don't know. I couldn't possibly know. I don't know why the other deals didn't go through. I don't know why they're 100% prisoner exchange. I wasn't in the room. I don't know. How could I know what happened? You weren't in the room. You don't know what happened. Anyway, help me spread this story of my sister and what she went through, even though I literally can't possibly know what happened according to my own logic because I wasn't there on October 7th. But I want you to spread this story. Tell people exactly what happened, even though we don't know if that's exactly what happened because I wasn't there. That's what her logic is, right? She's trying to tell. She's literally telling Bree and Robbie, tell the story of my sister that happened, even though I just told you we can't possibly know what happened unless we were there for the situation itself. Yeah, that's what she's doing. Isn't that like she doesn't even get the irony of it? That's why you do media training before you do propaganda. Because this sounds pretty bad. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was kind of cringing the way when I was listening to this interview, like, hold up, did she realize the irony of her statements?
As a woman in 2024, we are not 200 years ago. This is not okay that we have terror organizations that's controlling the free world and people in the...
Now terrorist organizations are controlling the free world. Unfortunately, I don't think that she's talking about the Israeli government, or else I would probably believe her. And I don't know what the hell that statement was about 200 years ago. This is not 200 years ago, and we have terrorist organizations controlling the free world. Yeah, I mean, that part is true, but probably not in the way that she thinks it is.
The West letting it happen and stay on the streets, killing the hostages now, or Israelis must die. What did I do wrong? What did my sister did wrong? Nothing. We did nothing wrong.
Well,
this was happening inside our own country.
Yeah.
And if the world won't help us,
It's
we will
look at
see
boy.
9/11.
Hey, you know what? Oh my God, yo, I'm sorry I keep interrupting, but like, yo, it's just everything that she said. But she's like, we did nothing wrong. All of this is happening inside our own country. See, that's the damn problem. It won't your country. You don't get it yet. You still, it's like, bro, it's like whenever a sociopaths keep getting consequence for their action, and they got this perpetual victim complex, because that's what sociopaths do. And she's like, we didn't do anything wrong. We were inside our own country. No, like that's, you just started off your sentence explaining exactly what you did wrong. You weren't inside your own country. You were inside of Palestine. Hell, I mean, really, since you've been there, but just the place that she was at was effectively Palestine. Y'all decided y'all want to throw a little party in front of these kids starving. Like, they could literally, those Palestinian kids in Gaza could literally just see what was going on. But, you know, we weren't doing anything wrong. We were in our own country. No, you weren't. Like, yeah, so you're wrong. So just want to let you know.
The second time in the US as well. But we can already see in the United States, in Michigan, rallies that calling death to America, not condemning terror organizations in Israel or any other place, in fact, is reflecting to your country as well.
I'm just going to push
So
back
it's
against
not-
the implication
little
that
racist. Yep.
in Michigan, which has the largest Muslim and Arab population in
Got a
America,
little
that
racist
there is
there,
any
yeah.
threat of terrorism from our own people. And I would like to clarify also that one of the rationale that was presented for 9/11 was discussed with America's support of Israel's continued occupation of Palestine. So that's neither here nor there. I really do hope that Netanyahu agrees and Israel agrees to the ceasefire deal that could bring all the hostages, including your sister, home. And I'm sure many people watching are praying for her safety.
Thank you, me too. And I really hope that you specifically will believe women when they say that they got hurt.
All right, thanks for joining. Stick around, more right.
Yo, she barely, like, honestly, look at this. This is what.
All right, thanks for joining. And Israel agrees to the ceasefire deal that could bring all the hostages, including your sister, home. And I'm sure many people watching are praying for her safety.
Thank you, me too. And I really hope that you specifically will believe women when they say that they got hurt.
All right, thanks for joining.
Bruh, barely rolled her eyes. If anything, she should have. I'd have been like, girl, you lost your mind. So you know how she kept her cool, and Bree has relatively been great at keeping her cool whenever people challenge her like that, to that degree, and they fire her. Cause I made a tweet about this where I specifically said it's just weird as hell. Like Robbie literally like cussed her out on camera. Also, she's been criticizing Israel for how long? Since October 7th. She's been very upfront and critical, and she did many a debate on that show. So what they did was use a trope in a situation where Bree was, I mean, she didn't, the girl didn't address any of Bree's challenges, didn't address the questions. She's like, yo, how, given the information that we know, whether it be the Hannibal directive, whether it be the fact that we know confirmed Israel has literally shot its own people, let alone bombed them, but literally shot them whenever they were running away, gassed them when they were being held hostage. This recent operation where they killed them to save them. And instead of answering the question, she danced around it, gaslighted Bree, and then decided to engage in what, in my opinion, can only be perceived as a personal attack against Bree's womanhood. That's the only way I can see it. You basically told Bree, oh, no, you don't even care about women. That's basically what she did. That was the nicest way Bree could have handled that situation, to keep it a band. Because I know that was me. I'd be like, excuse me, hold up. Turn the camera back on. Roll that again. What did you say? Because Bree, during the interview, once again, if you haven't seen it, she explains the mass sexual assault was debunked. Like, she goes out of her way to give her the article, the name of the author, people who did it. Like, she wasn't, and she was nice the whole time. And it's hard to be nice while you got to be on camera and somebody just gaslighting the hell out of you. But she was nice the entire time. And they use this trope. The one time Bree flinched the wrong way, they fired her. Yeah. Was it because of Israel? Yeah. But was it like, that wasn't the reason that they used to justify it? That's what bothers me. I'm like, I would have damn near rather you do that. Like, we already know what it was, but it was the fact that you use this trope to do it. You use this angry black woman trope. You prove Bree right. Bree has, like I said, she had this conversation. Like, we know, and I know. Me and Sabs talked about it on my show whenever she was on here the other day. Like, I talked about it on her show when I went on. Like, this is a real thing. And you proved her right. You couldn't because Bree, if she gonna talk about something like this, especially if it's controversial, Bree sometimes will toe the line of controversy because she understands the role that she was in on that mainstream platform. She's not like Kim. Kim will kind of just dive into the controversy. But Bree will toe the line of controversy. She keeps her emotions in check. And the moment that she displayed any level of true frustration, like just a little bit, after being gaslighted and personally attacked, they're like, yeah, you got to go. Proving her goddamn point from the jump. Like, they wanted her to be the calm black woman who takes everybody's shit and they can pretend that they actually believe in diverse opinions and in debate, and that they were going to that they let this woman be herself while presenting the news or engaging in these conversations. But that was never the case. They were always, and that's not that. And by the way, that isn't just them. That is perception. People will complain about the way Sabby approaches her conversations in disagreements with other people. There's a reason that they have to do that. I wish it was not the case, but it is. It's reality. And if it was really about the behavior issue, Bree actually had a great point about this. So to his credit, Robbie did actually come out and say that he was not happy about the way that she was removed. He was supportive of her, and that good stuff. But Bree's point here is true. First, let's go ahead and read her tweet. What she said was, make sure y'all can see the tweet too. Yeah, y'all can see it. Okay. What she said was, this is an important point. Talking about this tweet right here. Matter of fact, I'll put up this tweet first. Imagine a news outlet would allow one journalist, quote unquote, to outright lie about personally seeing 40 beheaded babies or burnt babies, but fire the other journalist who is consistently accurate and has been consistently accurate and adamant about correcting weaponized misinformation and propaganda. Friendly reminder, according to Haaretz, just one baby tragically died on October 7th. The image of a purportedly burnt baby that was also revealed to be an AI-generated image. Oh, it's also important to remember, by the way, that baby that died, that confirmed death, was killed by Israel. That we do also know for a fact. I remember because I did a whole hotspot video on it. So Bree responds with, this is an important point. Being repeatedly wrong on the facts while also being dismissive of your factually correct co-host doesn't warrant dismissal, and I'm not arguing that it should. Nor did shouting fuck during taping. But we're to believe this is about an eye roll. This isn't to bring Robbie into this, but to point out that the decorum arguments are silly and unsupported. 100%. And this is the video they're talking about.
And it is interesting that there have been no calls to censor. I mean, it's not the same for the President of the United States, obviously, but to even ask for an apology or a personal retraction from Joe Biden after lying about the 40 beheaded babies that have yet to materialize. his campaign, his administration got away with putting a retraction out to the press without him ever, as I understand it to date, being asked about why he specifically averred that he had seen evidence of something that even the IDF said that they had no evidence of.
That's not true. It's been shared on social media. The Israeli government has said this is the picture we've shown Joe Biden.
That is literally not. That is not true, Robbie.
It is absolutely true. How many times do you have to see pictures of blown apart children before you concede that they exist?
I see pictures of blown apart children every single day, Robbie. They're Palestinian children. What I have not
So you're saying there are no Israeli blown apart children? What is wrong with you?
What?
I just don't get it.
Robbie, we're sitting here in front of the computer right now. How about you pull up the confirmation that there were 40 beheaded Israeli children that were found at that location that was reported by that is Israeli news report on that day. And we finally follow up that the White House retracted its retraction of its own story, which said Joe Biden misspoke. He did not, in fact, see visual confirmation of 40 beheaded babies. And show me where the Israeli media that very specifically said we cannot.
Listen to yourself.
I'm hearing myself loud and clear, Robbie.
We have seen images. I don't know. There are
Robbie,
exactly 40 babies that were killed by decapitation, but I've seen burned babies. I've seen.
So now.
Yeah, sorry, my camera acting crazy right now. But yeah, that happened. What the hell? Y'all give me a second. My camera just started doing weird stuff. I think it might be my phone. Give me 1 second. All right, let's be back in business. All right, that was weird. But yeah. So I'm trying to understand how you I'm trying to understand how you can have situations like this and not see, and people can't see what's really going on. That bothers the hell out of me. It's an issue that we could talk about Israel, and we know that has a lot to do with what's going on. But the reality of the situation is, it's not just about Israel. Like she said, the decorum argument is bullshit. The decorum argument is bullshit. But they couldn't use anything else. With Katie Halper, for those of you, I saw somebody had mentioned Katie Halper. So now somebody inside told me about this. Katie Halper technically wasn't hired yet. She was a stand-in, if that makes sense. So she was on a 2-week stand-in process, but there is a high likelihood that she was not made a permanent fixture within the Hill Rising because of her stance on Israel, because of her radar. She had a whole radar on Israel, and that's why. So even though she wasn't fired, she basically wasn't hired because of that radar. You get what I'm saying? So yeah. But that was a lot easier because she was never technically a permanent fixture. So they could blame it on whatever, even though basically Bree confirmed that it was because of Israel. But you can't blame it on her. You can't say oh man, Bree has been factually, because Bree's just basically been challenging things with facts. That's what she does on the Hill. She literally says, go ahead, pull it up. Just bring up exactly what we already know to be true. And Robbie wouldn't do it. So how can you say that it's we know it's Israel, but it's the fashion in which they did this shit. It bothers me, y'all. I can't really, it bothers me to my core that they can use something like that, and that there aren't a lot of people who call, because there's a lot of people focusing on the Israel angle, which is true. But the rolling your eyes shit, come on, guys. Come on. You can literally scream fuck on camera, lose your shit on your co-host, personally attack your. What's wrong with Bree's? Never done anything like that with Robbie. Never. She's never done anything like that with anyone she's debated. There's been plenty of times where she should have just, if it was me, I would have started going in. But she always holds her composure. Robbie, not so much. And I believe that you should be able to get a little bit spicy on camera. I believe that makes for a really good show. But it's not about that, is it? Really? It was, yep, we got our opportunity. And everybody will support it because angry black woman. It's the same play that we saw Sam Cedar try to do with Bree. Whenever they debated each other, and Bree was handing his ass. Bree was handing his ass to him. So I don't know if y'all aware of this, but when you have a business, there are consequences and repercussions to dumb ass decision making. For example, you fired you fired effectively Kim Iverson when she was carrying your show, by the way. You had a chance to have Katie Halper. You fired Bree. You let her go because of Israel. You fired Bree on some bullshit. And now, you fucked around. You're in the find out stage. Look at this tweet from Glenn Greenwald where he's showing us the effects of what happened since the Hill fired Bree. The last 4 days since the Hill fired Briahna Joy Gray, after a campaign against her by pro-Israel activists, at least 20,000 subscribers to the program she hosted, Rising, have actively unsubscribed. If you look at the audience size of the Rising, you'll see how significant this is. So you can see, woof, shoo, shoo, shoo. Damn. And look at the viewership. That's crazy, y'all. That's crazy. That's a jump. And mind you, I mean, I'm sure if we go to the Hills views right, man, maybe let's see if we can go to the Rising real quick. I don't know what their views look like, but I'm gonna look right now. I bet it ain't the same as what it used to be. I'll tell you that. And what was crazy was, and it's the same thing that happened with Kim. Bree was on a roll. Like her and Robbie had did a bunch of shows back to back to back that were going viral. And then this happens. So I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know what leftists you think you're gonna bring on. Rising. It's 4 hours. 10,000 views. Not bad, I guess. Rising. So this 7,000 view video. I don't know who they got replacing Brie right now. I guess it's just Robbie. Yeah, it's just Robbie. Let's see. This is 3 hours ago. I'm trying to see if I can find one from a couple. So basically, the last looks like to me that they ain't really had a hit. So Glenn Greenwald comes on, but I think, so this is when Glenn came on. They had to call Glenn up, man. They like, yo, man, can you come on and try to save the day? Which is crazy because I'm knowing how they be booking people in advance. I'm almost positive they booked Glenn to talk to Bree. That's what's funny. I don't know who that person is, but yeah, it ain't really looked all that good since Bree left, based off of these numbers. It has not looked the 7,000, 3,000, 3,000, 8,000, 2,000, 6,000. Bro. So y'all, not only they lose 20,000 plus subscribers, which is like, okay, that's a big deal, but they got, hold on, let me show y'all. I'm gonna show y'all. Let me see if I can pull it up. Yeah, we can pull it up. Let me pull it up for y'all. Cause y'all didn't see this. It's almost, if I'm a producer right now, bro, I'm punching the air. Y'all don't know, man. Producers they be going through hell trying to get these numbers because their jobs and almost everybody else's jobs rely on it. So like, they've been going through hell. Somebody is punching the air right now looking at these numbers, y'all. Cause this is the Hill's channel. It ain't like, this is the Hill. Their whole channel. It's not a Hill Rising channel. It's the Hill's channel. And the Rising was carrying them. So you got 1,000 views here, 2,000, 3,000, or 3,500, 6,000, almost 7,000, 2,500 again, 7,000, 5,000, 10,000, 5,000, 16 is the most that I can see in the last couple of days. And that looks like it's because Glenn Greenwald was on the show. 5.6 thousand, 3.5, 6,000. Okay, so yeah, another one where it's 39,000, which is okay, I suppose. Because of what? It's just an U.S. alien aircraft, so it's about aliens. That's pretty okay. Students ditch Ivy League schools. It's 8,000, 2,000, 11,000. Hunter Biden trial recap. So basically, look, y'all see the numbers? Y'all looking at them. Losing Bree killed him. Killed him, y'all. They are in the find out stage. They fucked around. Now they're in the find. And what's crazy is after what they did to Kim, it was like you happen to be lucky enough to get another, what I like to refer to as an algorithm gatekeeper, if you will. Not literally a gatekeeper, but it's a person who has so many of one demographic, so many of a type of demographic of subscriber that you can mildly overcome the damage that y'all did to yourselves by getting rid of Kim, because they took a huge hit when Kim left. But now there's not really, I mean, I can't think of anybody who about to, yeah, that Glenn Greenwald ain't about to go over there. Glenn got his own show to do, and Glenn lives in Brazil. So that ain't happening. I don't know how they plan on fixing this. It ain't gonna be, okay, no, I know how. It ain't gonna be fixed. I'm gonna put it like that. Maybe they call Anna Kasparian. That might make the numbers worse. I don't know. But y'all see what I'm saying? I like to talk about my man's got a Instagram I be watching. He's a hilarious dude. He be imitating pops, like his dads when they talking to their kids. He be like, consequences. It's funny as hell because my grandpa used to do that shit. But yeah, this is what it is. Consequences. Action got consequences. I don't know what to tell you guys. That's what happens. So really quick, I wanted to go ahead and switch gears real quick. So the reason I want to cover Bree's situation first is because of the operation that came after Bree got fired. So in the video, guys, that y'all just witnessed and Bree brought up, she questioned Israel and specifically Bibi Netanyahu's willingness to do a deal, a legitimate ceasefire deal that will result in a release of hostages on both sides. And she said, and it looks like not only Bree herself, but even leaders from other countries, including Joe Biden, are claiming that Netanyahu isn't doing what's best for the interests of Israel nor the hostages, but only what's in his best political interest. So this woman, the sister of an Israeli hostage, comes on and tries to convince the world that, hey, there's a deal on the table. You know, there might have been some problems getting the deal pushed before, but now there's a deal on the table. We just got to push Hamas to accept it. Bree was like, there's no evidence of that happening. Like of Hamas actually being presented with a deal, Israel doing the work to ensure that the deal is just on both sides. And lo and behold, Israel conducts an operation that results in over 200, almost 300 Palestinians being killed right after Bree has this conversation. X64, thank you very much for the super chat. People been getting extra spicy with Bree for like the past year and a half, and she's been noticing, and she's been popping back on them. Good on her. Yeah, especially on Twitter. She be getting busy on Twitter. She be getting busy. But yeah, literally, Bree is engaging in this particular conversation with the sister of a hostage, saying there's no evidence that supports that Israel would actually engage in a deal or broker a deal with Hamas that would result in a ceasefire and the successful return of the hostages. Bree is saying this, and she gets shit for it and get called anti-Semitic for challenging this notion because this woman is claiming something that has no support, and then literally Netanyahu proves her right. That's literally what happened. And what's even crazier about the shit is these people got the audacity to call the operation a success. Y'all believe that? They got the unadulterated goal to cause operation a success. So first of all, there have been the hostages, not the hostages that were just rescued, the families of the rest of the hostages already not, they like, yeah, we don't really care about all that shit. They said Netanyahu, this was in a CNN article, Netanyahu was already facing criticism from some of the families of deceased hostages who say they received no such visits because, Netanyahu on that huge photo op with, oh, I'm hugging everybody. Oh, we got him home. The 4 hostages killed almost 300 people, including his own, for 4 hostages. Okay. But the families of the other hostages said they received no such visits and accused him of only taking credit for the war's successes. Israel will also likely face heightened international pressure over the raids because of the high Palestinian death toll. So the families even recognize, you idiot, you just made this worse for every other hostage, including the hostages that got killed, because you wanted a PR win. Nah, but according to that woman that Bree was debating, we're just trying to bring the hostages home. That's what our focus should be. You should put pressure on Hamas to send those hostages home. How about putting pressure on your own goddamn government, like the rest of your government is, like the rest of the people of Israel doing? At least they get that part. They're genocidal maniacs and, racist and overall deplorable people, like when it comes to politics and the way they treat Palestinians. But at least they are outside of Netanyahu's home trying to get him out because they've realized at this point that Netanyahu don't give a single goddamn about the hostages. At least not more so than his political career. So you didn't really get a victory from the people, right? So that's because they're calling it a successful. That's how it's been. Have you seen the media, the way they've been pitching this? It's been a successful rescue operation. That's how they're pitching it. Damn, almost 300 Palestinians that died. It's been a successful rescue operation. I'm just trying to understand how they define success, because you're losing PR battles with your own people. The only people who are happy about the results are the hostages themselves, and I don't know how happy they are because they just watch other hostages get killed for them to be protected and saved. So I don't really know how happy they are. But okay, so you're not winning that PR battle, okay? Then Benny Gantz, who is a former general who was in Netanyahu's war cabinet, resigns from Netanyahu's administration after the operation, the supposedly successful operation. Benny Gantz, a member of his own, bro, that man is literally a member, or was a member of Netanyahu's administration. And I'm gonna tell y'all who Benny Gantz is. Yes, so y'all? No. So he's an Israeli politician and retired army general. He served as a minister and as the Minister of Defense, specifically between 2020 and 2022, and as Deputy Prime Minister between 2021 and 2022. He served as Deputy Prime Minister, bro. This man was kind of like, he's here with Netanyahu. Okay? He served as Chief General of Staff of the IDF from 2011 to 2015. And in 2018, that's when he entered politics by establishing a new political party named Israel Resilience. The party later allied itself with Telem and Yesh Atid to form Blue and White, which is the colors of the Ready flag, obviously. And so basically, this man has like a long, extensive political career. He is actually well-liked in multiple parties, in multiple circles, okay? Obviously, he's to some degree celebrated by the Likud party, which is Benjamin Netanyahu's party as well. He's a decorated IDF soldier former IDF soldier. He literally was a general. And he comes out and leaves after the military operation, y'all. If the military operation was such a PR success, why did one of your head guys, a former general, leave? It's not looking good. Do y'all know what he said? Y'all know what he said? He accused Netanyahu of putting his personal political considerations ahead of a post-war strategy for the Gaza Strip, claiming that fateful strategic decisions are made with hesitancy and procrastination to political considerations, and urged the prime minister to hold an election in the coming months. So not only did one of your own people leave, but you botched this operation so bad and your decision making has been so horrible that somebody who was in your cabinet was so fed up, like, hey, bro, call for an election right now. You need to get on up out of here, bro. So even this former general, Benny Gantz, and former deputy prime minister knows how much of a PR failure this was. How this will damage any talks going forward. Also, this also, in my opinion, reveals, once again, how right Bree was. There was never any talks of a ceasefire deal going forward. One could even make the argument that the fact that that story was even planted out in the open was so that maybe, perhaps, Hamas and Palestine and their allies let their guard down for a second. Because there's no way that the family member of an Israeli hostage ends up on the Hill, like, and in such a way, and specifically is advocating for Hamas to hand this to accept this deal that never manifested, and then all of a sudden you do the exact opposite. You literally they like, this woman is advocating because she supposedly talks to people in the government. They call the family to inform them about the hostages, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and you do the opposite. Like, maybe that was always a plan. I don't know. That's what it looks like to me, though. That's just really coincidental. It really makes whoever was a final decision maker in firing Bree, that makes him look dumb as hell. Because Bree was absolutely correct. So your general left. Your general and one of the ministers of your cabinets left and told you to hold another election because you're so shit. You're such a bad leader. Your operation was such a failure. The family of the hostages are saying, nah, bro, sorry, we ain't buy it. Because not only are our people still in danger, but you didn't do any of this for us. Where you been at? We've been calling you. You ain't been answering the phone. You've been ducking like the side chick. Where you been at? So they see through the BS. And let's be real, this probably has something to do with the fact that Netanyahu will be coming to speak in front of Congress. What day? Matter of fact, in case y'all want to protest out there, let me figure out what day that is. I'm gonna find out for y'all. July 24th, 2024. So, yeah, he ain't a victory, didn't he? How you going to ask for more money, claim that this is really about the hostages, unless you've done something extravagant to justify all the innocent lives that you've taken and to distract from the fact that, yeah, these people, like, everybody now is trying to hold you accountable for war crimes. He better, y'all know that's about to be a private jet that Netanyahu's taking to the US, right? Y'all know that, right? Because he can't make no pit stops. Because damn near everywhere in Western Europe got a price on his head. He could be arrested in multiple countries now. He can't even go to his own country. Poland, Mr. Milikowski. He can't even go to his own country, his real country. So he got to go to West Philly, this other country. In West Philadelphia, born and raised on the playground where BB spent most of his days. Yeah, I didn't know that, did you? Yeah. He got more to do. His childhood has more to do with Philadelphia, Pennsylvania than it does Israel. That's why he speaks with such a strong American accent, in case you didn't know. Yeah. The last thing. So everybody knows about Israel's Hannibal Directive, and they have never been shy about killing their own. We also know that that hostages in the past have come out and said, we are more afraid that Israel will kill us in their indiscriminate bombings. Because the Hannibal Directive is what they'll do on purpose, but we also know they just don't give a damn about killing hostages. And there have been hostages killed indiscriminately. And there was a hostage, a soldier specifically, who was gassed. The mom tried to come out and call out Netanyahu and the Israeli government for doing so because the Netanyahu's government tried to hide it. And what they did was erase the kid's grave and shame the mom to try to shut her up. So whenever we heard the news that 3 hostages, one with U.S. citizenship, had been killed in this raid, in this operation, was literally anyone surprised? Anybody? Nobody. I was like, yeah, that makes sense. The first thing I thought whenever it said 297 Palestinians, oh, some Israelis had to be killed. Some Israelis had to be killed. And lo and behold, of course they were. And you know what's the most interesting? One of the most interesting parts about the claim, because Israel's Jerusalem Post already came out and tried to say this is a psyop piece. Okay. So how about this? Because this isn't new. This isn't new news. It was almost like the next day that it came out. Why hasn't the U.S. denied it? Why hasn't the U.S. denied it? Because it has already come out. In case y'all didn't know, the U.S. is considering at this point working back channels with Hamas to do hostage exchange for U.S. citizens because they don't believe in Israel anymore, basically. Even though they don't know what they have to offer, because Israel's not listening to anybody. But why hasn't the United States confirmed? Because they know which U.S. citizens are being held captive. It would not be difficult because Israel could confirm who is and who isn't alive through back channels, which they've already been doing. Clearly, they have the intel to know where these hostages are at, who they already know who's been held, et cetera, et cetera. Why haven't they confirmed it or denied it? Oh, probably because it's true. And think about if the U.S. finds out. So if the U.S. finds out that this is true, that's like they don't even know how to respond to that, because that would mean Israel killed a U.S. citizen, and we almost went to war with Syria over that shit, or was it Yemen? I can't remember if it was Yemen, Syria, or Iran. One of the 3. No, they were killed in Syria. Oh, they were killed in Syria and they blamed Iran, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong on that one. But my point is, we almost went to war over that. So what happens if we find out that Israel did it in an unapproved operation? I'm just saying. So they probably won't confirm it. So now you're in a situation where you can't confirm it. And if you come out and deny it, and it turns out to be true, because that's what they also have to worry about, because the U.S. could do that, right? They could come out and be like, no, that's not true. There wasn't a U.S. citizen killed. But then because of the way media has been coming out lately, because every time they've come out publicly and backed a narrative from Israel, it's blown up in their faces, sometimes literally. They come out looking stupid. So what if they come out and like, nah, that U.S. Israeli citizen didn't actually get killed. And then Hamas posts all the information for everybody to confirm. Because that's probably what they're waiting for. Yeah, go ahead and deny it. Please please go ahead and deny it, and we'll drop everything. And then people will look it up and confirm whether or not it's, and boom. So now they're screwed. And eventually, in my opinion, they will have to, this will get resolved. They will answer whether or not a U.S. citizen was killed in that raid. And there is no good answer. There is no good answer. I just don't see how this raid y'all literally lost 3 hostages and a high-ranking officer in this raid. You killed 297 Palestinians, adding to your obscene death toll. More evidence for your war, for the accusations of war crime against you. You lose one of your senior cabinet members of your administration, war cabinet members at that. The man who literally, his job is to help you go to war, was like, you ain't doing this right. You got to get up out of there. There needs to be elections. Even the families of the hostages who you were trying to placate, even they're like, nah, bro, like, we're not feeling this. Someone explain to me how this is a victory. How is this a successful operation if you had to kill 4 to lose 4? Or you had to, lose 4 to rescue 4? Like, at least for the Israeli numbers. You had to add to the evidence of genocide and war crimes to rescue 4 hostages. You had to possibly kill an American citizen, which is, I know it shouldn't be a bigger deal than any other citizen being killed, but like, I'm just speaking, we know how, unfortunately, the reality of the world is you kill an American citizen, all hell breaks loose. That's generally how it works in some form or fashion. It's not fair, but that's reality. This was a failure. There's a good chance in the next 3 months that at the bare minimum, there will be a call for an election to happen by the end of this year. At the maximum, there's a chance that Bibi Netanyahu could be dragged out of that prime minister position. When your own people are accusing you of pursuing your political goals, right? Because you got to remember, it ain't just the hostage operation. This man called up 50,000 reservists because he wants to go to war with Lebanon. On top of all that shit, you're already stretched too thin. Why do you had to call up 300,000 people to fight a war with Gaza that shouldn't have took that long, according to y'all? I mean, I don't know why you got to call up 300,000 IDF soldiers to drop bombs. Like, cause we know y'all don't like shooting kids. Y'all not gonna go to war with any, like, we know that y'all not really about to go to war. Y'all just gonna shoot bombs at people. Because y'all are scared to shoot the ones. Shoot the ones means fight face to face in a fair battle, by the way, in case you didn't know. So, like, you're going to war with Lebanon, you're doing this, you're doing that. This guy's leaving. Gantz is leaving. Hostages don't like you. People don't like you. The hostages family don't like you. Your people don't like you. You done pissed off America. France not on your side no more. Poland not on your side anymore. Germany not on your side anymore. This is not sustainable. And now the country is being torn apart, like Gantz said. Because there are people who are like, yo, man, we got to win this war. Other people are like, yeah, we got to get our hostages back. Other people are like, yo, can we just end this shit, please? Because they can't, you think they're going to be able to sustain a war with Lebanon? And like Iran, is not out of the picture yet. They're not safe from that. I don't see how this is sustainable. I don't see how this could be considered successful. I don't see how this does not cause massive blowback. This is not a victory. This will get worse. That was a dumb move by Israel. You just got done with this Rafah shit, and now you want to kill 300 Palestinians to rescue 300 Palestinians and 4 Israelis to rescue only 4 Israelis for a photo op? Come on, bro. Let's answer some of these questions. We're going to get up out of here. You're the first American left really talking about this. Who are we talking about? Gaza or this particular subject? But yeah, that's possible. That happens a lot. Ukraine killed Gonzalo. Yeah. Oh, that's true. And then America didn't care about it. That's true. But wasn't Gonzalo American citizen too? I mean, excuse me, Ukrainian citizen. And also that kind of went under the radar. That's not one of those situations where all the mainstream media was covering. In situations where all the mainstream media is covering, it usually becomes a little bit more problematic. There are exceptions, but I still wonder if the 4 rescued weren't plants. Plants for what? Like if they weren't the ones. Plants, I'm not really sure how they could be plants, I guess is my question. Oh, Nick said Gonzalo was Chilean. Got you. Understood. Hold on, what's over this beef with Vanguard up in here? Oh, Lord, baby Jesus. I mean, I'm not a fan of guys. I actually don't like them really at all. They're goofy. But what? Hey, Robbie Byrne, BB's real name, Benzian Milikowski. Yep, BB Milikowski. That is exactly, I be calling that shit on Twitter too. I don't be letting that slide. BB Milikowski, who used to spend his childhood in Philadelphia and Poland, but mostly Philadelphia. Poland didn't, or they didn't threaten it, right? But they said that they'll uphold the, was it ICC or the ICJ, whichever one who issued the arrest warrant. Yeah, that happened. I got smooth brain Vanguard views. What are y'all arguing about? I mean, I missed the argument. I don't know what the argument's about. I mean, everybody's free to watch what they want to watch. You know what I'm saying? Just make sure if you're gonna watch them that they don't be saying that you're smart enough to take away the smart stuff and leave the dumb stuff there. Deshalá, as they say in Brazil. Somebody said, "You mean Robbie won't save the Hill Rising?" Oh my God, you ain't. You wrong. You mean Robbie? Robbie can't throw on his cape? Nah, I don't think that's going. Niko, you need to run for president? Oh no, man. Look, for what? I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, I would kill the campaign trail. It would be actually really easy to run for president in the sense of like what I would need to do for myself. The organizational stuff, I would just figure out somebody to do, and I have a few people in mind that would be able to handle that job. But just like running for president and even being the president, it's like, what exactly would my job be? Because the moment that I would actually get in office, after I pick my cabinet, they're going to kill me. They're going to try to assassinate me immediately. It'd be over. They'd be like, oh man, what happened? Niko tripped and fell on a Colt 45. That's what they would say. Like, come on, guys. My job as president would be, hey man, so look, this person in our government is trying to do this to us. This person, hey, I'd be the one. Y'all won't have to worry about no KGP or any of those dudes giving speeches or address. Nah, it would be me every day just snitching. I don't believe in snitching, but I'd be snitching on the government. I would just be telling it all. Hey y'all, so I tried to release the JFK papers, but these motherfuckers in the CIA weren't letting it happen. And I would start naming them out and calling them out by name. Yeah, man, they won't let me be president. Nah, I couldn't do it. They killed me at the podium. While I was giving my speech, I would just start going off. So I could be president, but I wouldn't last that long. So it would be one of those things. Congratulations, Mr. President. Have you organized your affairs? For real, man. It's like, I don't want to be a figurehead. I don't want to be like some face that you just put out there and I just say whatever they tell you to say. Like, nah, man. I'm snitching about aliens. Like, I'm like, nah, they was lying about those aliens. These are real aliens. I'm snitching about all that. I'm telling. I'm going full tattletale if I win. President, prime ministers, and premier dictator are all puppets. Yep, 100%. It's very rare that you get one that isn't, and it's even rarer that they live to tell the story of their presidency. Oh, best believe though, I would be executive order king. I would be the king of executive orders. You know what on my first executive orders, what it would be low key? That from here forward, so FBI director, CIA director, and federal judges would have to be elected positions. That would be one of my very first orders. Because and U.S. attorneys. Because that's like really how they be controlling the government. Like the president has to be switched out every 8 years technically. Can be switched out every 4 years. Congress can be switched out every 4 years. Or every 2 to 6 years. But you trying to tell me that the people that literally control the fate of the world or the fate of the country and effectively the fate of the world, control whether or not our Constitution is enforced, control how the Constitution is violated, all of them, they don't get elected, they get selected? Nah, bro. I'll be like, yeah, all that shit. Y'all gonna have to get in that campaign trail and tell everybody your great record as FBI director. What's your shit? Please explain to the world how human trafficking rose to an exponential degree under your tenure as CIA director and FBI director. Go ahead. Please explain that. Yeah. It wouldn't be fun. Please explain how Epstein walked on your watch, and your watch while you were all judges. Why were you the U.S. attorney that let Epstein walk? Why are you a U.S. attorney? Boy, look. Please explain to me why you were district attorney, you did this, and this, and this, and all of a sudden you were selected as U.S. attorney. That just seems like really coincidental. And the other reason why you would do that is because the more people you actually have running for office at a national level, the more chance you have to expose the corruption within the election system. And the more incentive you have for people like lawyers who actually want to positively change the election system and make it more legitimate, they are running for U.S. attorney too. And those judges are running for federal judges too. And they would be more incentivized to use their positions as lawyers and judges and their connections as lawyers and judges to challenge that system. Because as it currently stands, to be a U.S. attorney or to be a federal judge, you got to be selected. I don't know if y'all knew that, but you got to play the game. So that's why none of these federal judges will actually challenge the system. That's why these U.S. attorneys will never. So that would be one of my first executive orders. Like that would be first thing. And you will watch the system come crumbling down. Because if you can't control the law and everybody going to jail, everybody starts panicking and then everybody starts snitching on each other. It's real easy. I ain't gonna lie to you. So anyway, with that being said, you want to elect the Supreme Court? Of course I want to elect the Supreme Court. I want the Supreme Court to be elected because, in my opinion, don't get missing with this. Oh, the Supreme Court's unbiased. That's bullshit. We know that they're biased. We know that they're biased because literally the Democrats and Republicans, but especially the Democrats, go out of their way to complain that if they don't win Congress and if they don't win the White House, they're going to lose the Supreme Court. So we know that they're biased. So let's stop pretending. And let's have the Supreme Court actually represent the interests of the people. So now you got to get up there and you got to campaign on something, right? You can't just, because district judges they campaign. People forget that. DAs campaign. Bro, have y'all never noticed that all of a sudden there's some major cartel breakup, some major human trafficking breakup, some major, like whenever Young Thug and YSL got caught up in Atlanta, all of a sudden, even though that there was never anything that was going to stick, it was because there was an election going on for the DA. The DA was trying to keep job. I'm dead ass serious. So if you got to run on everything that you did as a judge, they're gonna be like, well, hold on. Remember when you were putting all these people in jail over this marijuana situation or you were putting all these poor people in jail and siding on the side of corporations, or you didn't stand up to these corporations whenever this was presented to you. Why didn't you stand up for the people, even though all the evidence suggested and we have precedents here? Like, you got to make that argument now, because it's one thing when you're making that argument to a jury. A jury does have certain parameters that they have to stay within in order to figure out whether or not this person was guilty or innocent or whatever, or to side with whoever on a lawsuit. But you as a judge, when you're running for office, now you're subject to a public opinion, and you going to have to explain why you was out there sucking corporate ass. And it seemed like you always be sucking corporate ass. The people going to get and see your record. It, like the legal system, which is why I chose not to be a part of it, is so corrupted, because once you get to those federal judges, once you get U.S. attorneys involved, once you get the appellate court involved, it's politics. It becomes politics. Like, that's how it goes. But if you have to run on a platform to be a judge or a U.S. attorney, a federal judge or a U.S. attorney, maybe for the Trump supporters, for example, maybe Trump gets those audits, right? Maybe Jill Stein in 2016 wins those lawsuits, or wins more lawsuits, and exposes how much corruption happened during the 2016 election. Maybe Tim Canova gets that election against Debbie Wasserman Schultz flipped. You never know. That's my point. Like, that's one thing you learn, man. When you start learning law, you learn just how much affect the fact that we can't vote on the judges that make the most important decision, or the U.S. attorneys that represent us in the most important situations. We can't vote for them. So who's giving them the job? The people who are in power? Well, if the people who are in power are giving them the jobs, they're just going to put people in power that will help them maintain their power. Yup. That's exactly what it is. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for tuning into this live stream segment of For the People podcast. Make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all share this video. You can help donate to Diane and help her support her family, continue to start her new life, and by going to GoFundMe in the description below. Once again, we did hit our goal of 2,000. We're trying to get to 3,000 now. I greatly appreciate you guys, for all of you who helped us hit that goal in a week. Y'all have no idea how much that helps here in Brazil. $2,000 in Brazil is roughly, hold on, let me do my math. Roughly a little, right now it's a little bit more than 10,000 reais. So like, you can pay your rent. Like, she'll be able to actually pay her rent if she just wanted to use it all for rent. She would be able to pay her rent for like 7 or 8 months, just from the 2,000 that y'all helped her out with. So you have no idea how amazing that's been. So thank you all so much. If you want to support the show, you can obviously donate through Super Chats, become a member of our Patreon. You can also donate money through Bitcoin, Cash App. All that stuff is in the description. And don't forget to like this video, and of course, subscribe. And always remember, more than anything else, find your balance. Peace.